Hello. So I'm Polly Hearsey. I'm a business design mentor, a nature-inspired business design mentor. I know that there's a lot that gets said around business energy, and I wanted to give you an experience today where you can feel the energy of your business. But before I do that, I wanted to share a little bit about why I take the approach that I take and how that's going to change your experience of connecting with your business energy and meeting your business in a different way. So there are 5 layers of business energy. This energy isn't just one thing. There are multiple layers of energy that we can interact with. And the important thing about that is that when we want to get some clarity on where we're going or to understand our business more or develop our relationship with our business, if we ask the question of the wrong layer of energy, we're going to get a different response. So I'm going to talk you through the 5 layers of business energy and then explain why we're going to take the approach that we're going to take. So the first layer of business energy is really the core frequency. The core frequency is the thing that gets born when you decide to create your business. Now, what's really fascinating about this core frequency is that it doesn't matter how much you pivot in your business, how much you evolve and adapt it, that frequency never shifts. What does change is your relationship to it and how you resonate with it and what it sets off within you. And that's to do with your capacity to work with that energy at any one time. So that evolves over time. So your relationship with it changes, but the actual core frequency doesn't change. The second layer of energy is the DNA. Now, businesses have 5 strands, if you want to call them that, of DNA. And these are related to the core life force energies that need to be brought together in order to begin to take that frequency into a form. So the DNA is really a very deep way of working with your business, but it's kind of, it's beginning to move into form. So where your frequency never changes, your DNA can begin to change because of the differences that you have in the way that you're approaching your business and also the other energies that might be influencing it. So the second layer is the DNA. That's a really, really good place to go and get some depth of insight into your business and really build your relationship with it. So do a lot of work on the DNA. The next layer are the energetic structures. So these are the energetic principles that create your business. So that's both in terms of the energy and also the practical action. So your business is moving from this frequency to the DNA. It's beginning to move into form, but it needs structures like we need a skeleton. It needs structures in order to be able to hold that energy and to begin to move it into form and expression. So the energetic structures are the things that we put in place, both practically and in terms of our mindset and our energy and everything else to support our business. Which then leads on to the next layer of energy, which is the energy body. Now, like you, your business has an energy body. It has this depth of, this entire system that allows the energy to move through it. Now, energy always needs to move, so it's making it possible for the energy to move through your business. That's really, really important. So it's got a lot of insight in terms of, where are you stuck at the moment? And, what are the issues that you might be facing? And you can go into the energy body to work some of that out. But you can also go into the energetic structures to work some of that out. So as we move out from frequency into some of these outer layers of the energy, we're beginning to understand the practical aspects of our business and what it means to have our business in form. Now, the final layer of business energy is the business entity. Now, this includes all of the energies of your business and all of the energies that are contributing to your business. So that would be your clients, your community. It would also be your coaches and your mentors, that past and present. All of that is within the business entity. The other thing that's also in there is some of the energy that may have been absorbed, perhaps unwittingly or unconsciously, from people who have been commenting on your business. So if you've got friends or family who consider that you might need to go out and get a real job for the sake of argument, that is possibly an energy that is built into your business entity. Now, in my experience, when most people talk about connecting to their business and connecting to that energy, they're talking about connecting to the entity. And that's going to result in probably a relatively easy conversation and transfer of understanding, because it's the most outer layer and it's giving you that, it's the most form driven aspect of your business, because it does include or if you bricks and mortar, it includes the buildings and everything. So it is most likely to give you the easiest of conversations. But given the fact that there are so many other energies that are influencing the business entity, it also has the ability to give you a slightly disorientating response. What I mean by that is that there's other things that are going to contribute to the conversation that you're having with them, which may not give you the truest, clearest response. So it's a useful place to start in talking to your business. But if you want to evolve that, you need to go down in through the layers. So when I'm introducing people to their business energy, I introduce them to that core frequency. This is the business consciousness. This is the thing that never changes. But it's an interesting experience, because where the entity, you can have quite a reasonable conversation with it. With the frequency itself, you are going to have a different response to it, or a different understanding of it. It's going to speak to you in a different way. And that way may not actually result in any obvious and clear intellectual understanding of what's just happened. But believe you me, your cells are going to understand, and it's going to percolate. So when we do this practice in a minute, it will continue to sort of like ripple through your system for some time. So that's one thing to say. The other is that being a core, just a pure frequency, it can feel very intense. It can come into your system, and you can come towards you, and you can sort of go, whoa, that is really big. I'm not in a position to be able to deal with that at the moment. Now, what some people do in that situation is they go, okay, oh, all hail business energy. What would you like me to do? That is not what we want. What we want you to do is to bring your energy up to meet it. Now, if that's, you can breathe into your system, you can expand your energy, and because your business needs you. You need to be equal with your business. That's what it needs. And believe you me, you have all that you need in order to match that energy. But at the moment, your capacity might not be there. And remember that your relationship with your business is like any relationship. It's built on compromise and working together. It's cooperation and collaboration. So if that energy feels too intense to you to be able to process, and it feels a little bit like, it's going to knock you off center, then ask your business to tone it down to where you can really manage it. What happens a lot of the time is when we connect with these frequencies are just so pleased to have that opening, and that clarity of connection with you, that they can be a little overwhelming. And we actually have to say, well, calm it down a little bit. So don't feel that you have to sort of like absorb it, or sort of like or feel overwhelmed by it. Just either bring yourself up to meet it, or ask it to tone itself down to meet you, so that you can have a really good experience. So that's the background. So let's get into doing this practice, which is I wanted to share with you, so you have that opportunity to feel what it's like and sort of like open up some of those doors. So what I want you to do is get yourself comfortable. You can do this standing up, you can do this walking around if you are comfortable to do that. But if you feel that you might need to just settle yourself down and close your eyes, then go with that. And we're going to start once you've got yourself comfortable. Oh, and if you've got some water at hand, this is thirsty work. It doesn't really matter if your feet are flat on the floor, but you might find that it's easier or feels more accessible if they are. So what I want you to do is begin to take a nice just take a good deep breath, just to connect in to the moment and get yourself ready. And we're going to use our breath to really connect into our body and ready the body to experience frequency. So when you've taken a few deep breaths, what I want you to do is to start to visualize breathing in through the soles of your feet, where you have the energy centers in your feet. So you're really breathing that energy in through your feet, and that's just going to connect you into the thing that makes you stay upright and keeps you moving forward. And it's your connection to the earth, which is very important. So just breathe into your feet. Might need to take a couple of breaths in order to get the hang of it. I have to remind myself to slow down at this point because I do this sort of thing every day. So take 2 or 3 breaths in through your feet, and then take your focus up through your legs and begin to breathe in through your root. So as you're breathing into these energy centers, you're connecting into your body. So that is opening up your intuitive wisdom and your access to that intuitive understanding. But it's also making space. This is very important. It's making space for energy to move. And often our energy centers get a little bit tight. So just breathing into your root, taking a deep breath and allowing that to sort of expand your root out a little bit. And then you can take it up to your sacral and breathe into that center of your creativity, really expanding it, just connecting into it, feeling good about your relationship with it. And then we're going to come up, not to your solar plexus, but halfway between your sacral and your solar plexus is your core energy center. This is where your soul is anchored into your body. This is where your spirit resides. And so I want you to breathe into that base. It's somewhere behind your belly button. Just breathe into there. Just connecting into the source of your purpose, your greater self, if you like. Don't know that I like that phrase, but you know, the thing that's bigger than your body. Breathing into that just to connect to that very, very important energy center within you. And then coming up to your solar plexus, breathing into your solar plexus, your sense of identity, your space from which you move forward on your own terms. Creating some space there before moving up into your heart. One of your really core energy centers, because this relates to, let's wait for the dog to settle down. Do quite a few circuits, and she said, so your heart energy is not settled. Your heart energy is about your human experience. It's a really important energy for the collective and for the universal collective. Very, very important energy. So breathing into your heart, expanding that energy. And then we're going to move up to your throat. One of the most problematic areas for all businesses of soul and purpose, because this deeply personal inner realm is moving out, however you do it, is moving out through your throat into expression. So the tightness there, that's very common. So just breathe into your throat space, just getting comfortable with how it feels and using your breath to try and move it out a little bit, create some space, because when this energy comes in a minute, you're going to need the space for it to move. And then going up to your third eye, your This is where you can, right here, where you can really connect into just your intuitive understanding, your perception of everything that's outside of form. And indeed a lot that is inside form as well, but it takes you beyond yourself. And then on up to the crown at the top of your head, breathing into that, just connecting to it, perhaps feeling the warmth as you breathe into it, allowing that to open a little. So you're now really connected into your body. You're connected into your energy flow, and you are tapped into your intuitive wisdom. You're ready to understand things in a different way. So what I'm going to do now is ask you to extend an invitation to the frequency that is your business consciousness and ask it to join you. Now, I'd like you to keep that consciousness quite separate from yourself for this experience, because I want you to have a really clear experience. When I'm working with clients, we integrate this energy, and that's a very powerful process, but it needs to be worked through. And I just want you to have this conversation or this introduction to your business energy today. So that consciousness is going to come in all manner of ways. It's going to be completely unique to you. So it may come in purely as a sound or a sense of movement or a color or a shape, or it may come in as something that's more identifiable. But be open to the sort of like the odd sort of like prompts that you might, nudges that you might be getting, because that's frequency talking to you. I certainly experience it in terms of sound and sense of movement and shape. That's it, and color. That's how it communicates with me. But it might be that you suddenly see yourself in a particular setting, or you may feel something, may feel like something's touching you, and this is all about how your intuition speaks to you. So you don't need to have a conversation, but a conversation may ensue. You can, if you think about your ability to walk into a room and understand people at an intuitive level and sort of like gauge what's going on very, very quickly, this is why we connected you into your body. Your body is calibrating right now to this frequency. It's saying, okay, right, I'm getting there. So you don't need to have a conversation, because the conversation at an energetic level is already there. And what happens now is really about that relationship that you have with your business. And it's private and it's completely unique. So I'll give you a minute or two to just feel that. And as I said before, if you feel that it's an intense energy, try and raise yourself up to meet it, or ask it to moderate itself to meet you. And when you open up your energy centers, as you did with the breathing, that allows communication to happen within your body. If the energy centers aren't open, if you're receiving the understanding and the main center of understanding, for example, in your roots about what your business means and how you relate to it, if that can't travel up through you, then you will not be able to turn it into an articulatable, is that a word? You won't be able to articulate what you understand intuitively. So we want that space in our bodies to allow things to move. I don't know if you can hear that, but we're getting an impromptu performance. Our neighbours are all musicians, violinists mostly. This is just the beginning of the conversation. This conversation that you know, this understanding that will continue. Once the door is open, the door is open. So it's going to continue. The important thing is to really be aware of how you respond to energy and understand your individual responses to things. So that, like I said, that's going to continue to run, but you can close out the experience. And it is very important with working with your business energy to close out your interactions with them. Now, I personally start my day with my business and end my day by disconnecting. But I want you to practice that disconnection now, and to, you know, extend your gratitude to your business energy and close out the experience by sort of, you know, saying that you're ready to come back to your day now, or however feels good for you. So what can you expect from now? Please don't bark. Noisy dog going back in the farm trailer, barking all the way up the road. Thankfully, mine didn't join in. What can you expect from here? So you will, having opened the door to conversation with your business, you can expect it to start communicating with you in all sorts of ways. So coming back to how you experienced it, that energy, if you might well get hints or undertones of that, and you're going, oh, hang on a second, I just need to stop and just take a moment to listen to what I'm feeling. Your resonance with that frequency will shift. In fact, I mean, if you went in and did this practice again now, your experience would be different. It might be very subtly different, but it would be different because your energetic flow and your capacity as well has already shifted because you've had this experience. So the next time you experience the energy, you'll get it slightly differently. So you can expect to sort of like go, oh, okay, well, I think the important thing is it's not fixed in stone. We're very good at labeling ourselves. We're very good at saying, I'm this or I'm that. But when you're working with energy, your relationship with it is constantly changing because you are constantly changing, because the world around you is constantly changing. So it's dynamic. So it's learning how things communicate with you and being aware of that. So what you'll start to see is that there probably you'll get some parts of your business that have been trying to rise to the surface, making themselves a little bit more visible. And probably when you went into this experience, there were things that you went to, oh, that's been in the back of my mind or has been in, you know, in my awareness for a long time, but it hasn't actually ever made any sense. But actually it was my business trying to talk to me. So it's going to want to now expand that conversation and do a little bit more of that. So just be aware of the cues that you get. When you work with the energy of your business, it moves you into a different, your center of balance shifts. So it might be possible that you start to value something more more than you had done, and something that you had valued might be sort of like drop down a little bit. So your center of balance may well shift, and your equilibrium might have a little bit of a wobble, but it's about finding a new balance, because every day we need to be almost recalibrating to, the shifts that are happening internally, externally. So it just keeps you in a little bit more alive to your business and open to opportunity. And it's entirely likely that you will see something. Maybe you've been getting a lot of prompts, and you're just going, I don't understand, why am I seeing this? Because it doesn't make any sense to me and I can't work it out. And then all of a sudden, in 2 days' time, you might go, oh, well, that is why, because this needs to come in. There's a particular angle on it. But I am always here for, if you want to reach out to me, and send me a message or connect with me in some other way, to ask me a question about your experience, then I'm here to do that. So I'm very happy to answer questions and sort of like guide you through the next steps. And I've got stacks of resources that I can point you in the direction of as well, to help you with that. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.